وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ. And he also says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about mu'mineen, أَذِلَّةٍ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَعِزَّةٍ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the first ayah, translation, hold tight to the rope of Islam. Hold tight to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hold tight to Islam. And let tafarraqu. Don't don't become divided. Don't allow the disagreements between ourselves to make us divided. And the other ayah, the Quran always translates stuff. If you want to understand the Quran explains itself. Where it doesn't explain itself, where it's generic, the hadith comes and explains it in more detail. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains in another ayah. The first ayah is in Al-Imran, the second ayah is in Surah Al-Hujurat. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. Indeed, all believers are brothers and sisters. So, you're my brothers. The sisters are my sisters. Simple as that. How do I treat my brother? How would I treat my sister? How would I treat my mother, my father, my children? This is how we look at each other. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, in the natural, I know that things change in this era, but naturally, we don't allow disagreements to break the ties of brotherhood. You've got your brother, your sister, your father. You'll argue with each other, true, but the arguments don't exceed a certain limit. We don't allow it to break the family apart. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا, don't be divided, and He explains it, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. And He gives us, bits and bits and ways and methods on how to achieve that. The first thing, when Allah describes the mu'mineen, what? أَذِلَّةٍ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَعِزَّةٍ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. Which means, by default, you're humble towards your brothers, and you're strong towards your enemies. Now, let me expand this, and then this is all the preamble, the beginning, the summary of the khutbah, but we'll get to it very quickly, inshallah. Half the problems we have with the relationships between people is one out of a sense of superiority. Hence, racism comes in place. Hence, arrogance comes in place. When I think I'm better than someone else because of his skin color, because of his nationality, because of his background, because of his whatever, doesn't matter what it is, that's slowly start to build a sense of arrogance in myself. And then racism follows, and then oppression follows, and all the issues that we see in the world follows from that. That starts, that beginning of sensing that you have a superiority complex. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, starts in the beginning. As a believer, you must be humble, and you have humility towards your brother. Now, how does that translate into reality? When I'm giving, this is why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us to give zakah to someone who needs it, a Muslim that needs it, you're not doing him a favor. You're not doing the brother a favor, or the sister, or the family a favor. No. One, it's your duty. You're obligated. It's like paying taxes. Are you doing the government or HMRC a favor by giving the money? No. You have to do that. If you don't do that, you'll go to prison. They'll drag you through courts, and you have to do it. It's an obligation. In fact, they're doing you a favor by taking the money off you. Oh, thank God, they've taken the tax out. I'm okay. Have I missed anything in my tax? This is how businesses and how personal taxes are done. If you're in a permanent role and your tax are taken from the source, that is exactly the same concept. And this is how zakah is. Allah is doing us a favor. Where Sayyidina Muhammad explains the zakah, that it is tahara for your money. It is a purification of your money. All right, so when I'm giving money to a brother, there is no sense of I'm better than I'm richer than a brother. No. At first, I'm thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He's blessed me with money. I'm not that position. That's number one. Number two, I'm cleaning up my money. My money, I'm purifying it from anything haram that's got inside of it. Most of our money is through banks, through whatever. We may have done a misdeed here or there as we do transactions. This cleans it all, makes the slate cleaner. The third thing is that the same as when I give my son or my wife or my daughter or my father money, I don't look as if I'm doing them a favor. I look at it as an obligation. I'm giving my brother in the same context. This is the true meaning of humility between brothers. I give the money because it's a stark example. It's a clear example. We all understand this. This clears the path. So what I'm giving to my brother, I'm not doing him a favor at all. In fact, he's doing me a favor by accepting the money. Now, expand that to everything. Expand it to the way you speak to your brother. Expand it to the way that you treat your brother. Expand it to the way that you look after your brother when he's sick, when he's absent, when he needs something. The same concept, it follows. Now, the first example of brotherhood that Islam showed us was, and it's an example that has maybe it's the most bright example in all of human history so far that we've seen. And Muhajirun and Ansar. Going back to the beginning of Islam, for the first 13 years of Islam, the Muslims were about a few hundred people. They were being tortured, they were being killed, they were being chased out of their businesses, out of their houses, until Allah granted them to leave Mecca, go to Medina. Now, what happened in Medina? Now, these are immigrants that are going from one place to another. What happened to them? And by the way people at the time treated immigrants is no different from now. Humanity has not changed, by the way, in 1500 years and same thing. Nothing's changed. People are the people are the same. The first thing that Sayyidina Muhammad did to ensure that brotherhood is he enforced in Islam brotherhood between Muhajirun, the people that were exiled, and the Ansar, the people that are from Medina, from Islam, that are living in Medina itself. To the extent that if a brother died, I inherit from him. If I die, he inherits from me. And then we saw examples, unbelievable examples. A brother would come, a Muslim would come from Mecca, and the Muslim from Medina would say, this is my wealth. Half of it is yours. I'm married to two. See, whichever one you want to marry, I'll divorce her and you can marry her if she accepts. Can you get your head around the level of brotherhood that has been instilled in the Muslimin at that time? Let me give you another example. This was in Ma'arakat Yarmouk. Yarmouk was a battle between the Muslim forces and the Romans. One of the major battles that broke the Roman in the Levant, which is now known as Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Jordan, that area. It's called the Levant, Shem. This is one of the major battles that literally broke the Roman power over there. One of the companions, this is a companion talking about 3 companions he saw with his own eyes as they were dying. So he was giving them water, the wounded. There were 3 companions that were wounded. So he was giving them water. So first he said to the first one, do you need something? He said, water. So he got him some water so he can drink. And just as he's put the lip of the cup to his, the cup to his lips, he heard a brother right next to him or near him by moaning from pain. So he looked at him and said, give me that, brother. So the companion took the water to the second one. Do you need the water? He said, yes, give me the water, I'm thirsty. So as he was putting it, he heard another wounded, moaning or screaming in pain. So he said, go to that brother, he might need it more than me. So he went to the third one, he found he died. So he quickly rushed the one before him, he found that he died. And he went to the first one, and he found he had died. So imagine you're at the throes of death. All you're thinking is the pain, you're stabbed, your hands cut off. It's swords, so it'll be a stab type of wound or cutting wound. And it's very painful. I can imagine it's very painful. Yet I would prefer my brother to drink water. I will leave my brother to drink first until he died, until all three died for Jannah. I need to keep. Right. Another incident, and this is with Sayyidina Ali, and it's a lovely incident. As he was walking back, it's reported that Sayyidina Ali had only 1 dirham to feed his family. I think he was in Kufa, he was in Iraq. And as he was going back from going to the market to buy food, he saw someone hungry or a poor person. It's only dirham that he had, so he gaped. And he'd barely walked 10 steps when he heard someone calling him from far away. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he was the Khalifa. He could have had what he wanted. And he called Sayyidina Ali. Sayyidina Ali stopped to look at him. He said, I owed you 5 years ago or years, I can't remember the number of years, many, many years ago, 10 dirham. There's the money that I owed you. So and Sayyidina Ali, of course, said that, subhanAllah, 1 hasana is multiplied by 10. But the point is that even though Sayyidina Ali is feeding his family, he's not just himself, he's feeding his wife, his family, and his children, yet he preferred to give a poor person rather than himself. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always gives. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروه هو الغفور الرحيم. Do ask Allah forgiveness. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عبده الذي اصطفى. يقول صلى الله عليه وسلم مثل المؤمنين في توادهم وتراحمهم كمثل الجسد الواحد في حديث ما معناه في بخاري مسلم narrating بخاري مسلم إذا اشتكى منه عضو تداعى له سائر الأعضاء بالسهر والحمى, which means the example of the believers in the mercy and compassion and the mutual love that they have for each other is like one body. If one part of it complains, the rest of the body stays or responds with sleeplessness and fever and wakefulness for that part that's hurt. Your toe hurts or your finger hurts, you'll be in fever. Even if it's infected, the whole body's going to be in fever. The leg's not going to say, I don't care about you, I'm not going to be, no. The whole body starts complaining. Also, Rasulullah يقول المسلم أخو المسلم لا يظلمه ولا يخذله. ومن كان في حاجة أخيه كان الله في حاجته. A Muslim is a brother of a Muslim. He doesn't wrong him and he doesn't forsake him. And whomever fulfills the need of a brother, Allah will fulfill his need when he needs it the most. At the Day of Judgment, when we are genuinely in need of Allah's help, this is where it works. This is where you'll be in need. There's no currency, there's no money, there's no dollars or pounds or anything at all. There's no wealth, there's no familial ties, there's nothing. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes it that every man is going to run away from his wife, from his children, from his parents, from his friends. Everyone's worried that I might have wronged someone, so they'll take my hasanat. So everyone's running from everyone. The only thing that's going to remain for you is what you've done for your brother at that dark moment when you're in need of something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be with you. Now, talking about brotherhood and talking about how Muslims treat each other really is the core of the issues that we have between relations in families, between relations between friends, between relations between nations. We do not see each other as brothers. People still see him as an Arab Or if he's an Egyptian, they're Arabs, I see him as Egyptian, him and Saudi. Or if they're Egyptian, he's from Upper Egypt and he's from Cairo or Alexandria or whatever. And if he's from Cairo, oh, he's from this part, this district, and he's from that part. It's always going to be like that. No, people do not see that we are the same. In the end, when we die, we are all we are all put into the same piece of cloth. Every single one of us, 2 pieces of cloth. That's it. You're chucked in and you're chucked in the ground. Every single one. Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're an adult or whether you're a child, makes no difference at all. What we assume is big or or causes a lot of angst at this point in time, 5 years, we notice that it makes no difference. In fact, most of us are, mashallah, adults. We all remember how we were at school, high school. I'm not going to say primary, high school, secondary school, whatever, or the equivalent in our countries. We had problems and we fought, and looking back now, does it make any difference? Did any of these issues truly make a difference to us? Not at all. Makes no difference. Going further back, the brothers that are like me, that have lived more than half a century, 20 years ago, anything that happened with another brother, do you remember it? Does it make a difference to you much? Not really. It's forgotten. So let's treat issues that we have with each other in the same manner. In the same breath, I say this, let's not forget our brothers, our sisters around the world. The pain never goes away. And I know I keep on saying this every khutbah because the blood never stops. So, alhamdulillah, we're in Eid, we're happy, we are celebrating. Some brothers are not celebrating. Some are crying because they've lost a loved one. A father's crying because he's lost his wife or his child. A mother's lost her baby. Or a child has lost his parents or his brothers and sisters. This is happening it's not a fantasy or a story that I'm writing. This is reality happening right now as we speak. And this brotherhood that I'm talking about, it extends to our feeling to our brothers across. What would I do if I knew that my family living in another country are suffering? What would I do? Just everyone ask themselves, what would I do if I know that my mother or my father or my children, that I've traveled thousands of miles to earn some money to send them so they can feed themselves and educate themselves, if they're suffering, what would I do? What would every single one of you do? What would you do? This is what we should be doing to our brothers in Palestine, or in Sudan, or in India, or in Pakistan, or anywhere in the world. Even the rich countries have poor people. Saudi, and they've got some very poor people all around the world. The concept isn't whether the country's rich or not. It's how we view our brothers. Are we still looking at each other differently? Do we still hate each other because he's from this country? I mean, I was genuinely surprised when I saw some brothers. I'm not going to talk about the nationalities. They're not willing or comfortable to speak to other brothers because from a different nationality. What? How does that make sense? So, again, I'll finalize with this. The minimum we can do is raise our hands to do dua. You do not belittle the dua. It's not a small act. Raising your hands, asking Allah is not a small act. In fact, people keep on saying, let's write to your MP, write to your, so they can do something. For goodness sake, you're going to a human, you're not going to Allah. How does that make sense? Go, by all means, go right to the MP if you want to. I'm not saying don't, but we're putting faith in humans. We're not putting faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Raise your hands and ask Allah. If you've got money, give money to charity. Small, regular is better than a huge amount, but done in on and off, ad hoc. No, regular payments. If there's any issues you have with your brothers or sisters, clean your heart. A companion went to heaven because every time he went to sleep, he cleared his heart from anything he had against his brothers. And any issues we have between ourselves, I promise you, it's not worth it. We'll forget it. In 50 years, we'll probably all be dead. 100 years, no one's going to even remember us. 200 years, dust. I promise you, it makes no difference. Let's clear this, because in the end, we're going to stand in front of Allah, and inshallah, we want to stand in front of Allah and said, we were together in this on the 4th of April 2025 as brothers. Maybe that will raise us, and we'll talk to each other about that in the Jannah. Inshallah, we will meet each other in the Jannah. Today's Friday. Read Surah Al-Kahf, listen to it or read it, whatever you prefer. Let's not forget Qiyam al-Layl. We used to do Tarawih, alhamdulillah, 30 days or 29 days, 2 rakat before you sleep. Simple. With 5 ayat each rakat. It doesn't have to be complicated. Islam is as simple as we make it. It doesn't have to be complicated. 2 rakat before you go to sleep. Qul Allahu Ahad, Qul Allahu Falaq. You've done Qiyam al-Layl. Can't be harder than that. Sayyidina Muhammad says, this is going to be the final thing, inshallah. Whomever fasts Ramadan and follows it with 6 days from Shawwal, it's as if he's fasted the entire year. We are in the month of Shawwal. Any 6 days, they do not have to be after each other. Fast Monday and Tuesday, Monday and Thursday. Fast however you want to break it down. What you want to, you've got still a bit of health. You want to do all 6 in one go for it. But don't forget the 6 days in Shawwal, so that you get the reward as if you've prayed the whole. Allah.